Instagram. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick video on something I was asked recently when doing a video shoot. I recently did a commercial for Toyota, which turned out very well. I'll link it in the description. But anyways, that being said, I was asked during that shooting how I grew my Instagram to nearly 15,000 followers. And how I did it was just by following these simple steps that we're going to go over in this video coming up. But first, let's check out that intro and then we'll flip over to how I did that. Okay, so first, we're all by now probably familiar with Instagram. If you are not, or if you're not on Instagram, you're probably living under a rock. I currently have 12.3 thousand followers on Instagram with just over 1,000 posts. And I'm quickly gonna run over how I did that and how I gained these followers and how you can use that to promote your business. That being said, before we jump into this video, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is if you have a personal Instagram or a business Instagram. The biggest difference with that is with a personal and business. With a business, you're able to access analytics, your most popular time of day for audience retention, when your audience is grabbed by your content, profile visits and stuff like that. Now, if you don't have a business account, there are apps you can use to gain access to those analytics, and I'll post that down below. So moving on, tip number one, SEO, search engine optimization. Now, we've all heard of it, we've all seen it. As you can see from my profile, which I'll post right here, is that I have changed my name accordingly. Dennis Papineau with videographer. Now I'm trying to reach out to people to gain attention to my business for photography, for videography and whatnot. And as you can see from my profile, you're probably on my Instagram based upon that. Sole purpose is that everything I post is strictly towards that niche, as you can see with my name. And when you search, it'll come up, my name will come up. So it is important. I know a lot of people just like to have a music lyric or a powerful quote in that, but if you are trying to gain a certain audience and bring and attract people to your profile, it is important to, use what works for you. Now, following that quickly brings us to tip number two, which is content and caption. And by that I mean, when you're posting a video or a photo on Instagram, make sure the caption is kind of ties into it accordingly. If you're wanting to bring in people for your landscape photography and you post a beautiful photo of Lake Louise, for example, make sure the caption, it kind of ties into that accordingly. Or let's say you're a DJ and you post a short video clip of a new song coming up, make sure you put the details in that caption. A lot of times where I see people, and if you're promoting a business, do it accordingly, be professional. Don't put blah blah blah, F this, F that kind of stuff. Think of it when you go to a restaurant and you're going to order a beautiful meal, you eat with your eyes first. Same with dating. When you meet somebody, you're attracted to them with your eyes first, and then you get to know them. Bring the people in with their eyes. You got to give people what they want. In that scroll time, they're scrolling, and then they see your picture, and then they read the caption. So you got to think that Instagram is giving people what they want and not necessarily what they need. That being said, we're going to move on quickly, and now we're already at tip number three. And this is one of the biggest ones that I find the most useful and most crucial to how you're running your Instagram page, and that is hashtags. Now, I know people like to make fun, but they are important, and mix them up. The key is to not use just basic generic hashtags like Instagood, Instagram. You got to mix them up. So if you're posting a picture about, portrait photography or one of your own portraits, look up somebody else's, somebody that has a huge following like Peter McKinnon, or you know, one of your other favorite photographers, and look up what they were using for their hashtags. Now it is important to kind of watch. There's kind of, I put in 3 levels of Instagram accounts. They're going to use hashtags that are probably a lot longer than an account with under 50,000 followers. So if you had, like myself, 12,000 followers, I'm going to put some generic hashtags, and then I'm going to put my own hashtags, but I'm going to keep them short and to the point. If you're using a generic hashtag like tattooed model or portrait photography, chances are if you have a smaller account, you're going to get lost in the content or in this search. Now, as I mentioned before, there's a difference between business and personal accounts, and I'm going to post a screenshot of one of my posts right now and what you have access to if you do have a business account. Right here, if you look at this post, it will show you how the content brought the audience to this picture. It breaks down on when they came, where they were from, if they were brought here by hashtags or from the homepage or just by a simple search. It is crucial to pay attention to these, and I'll get onto that in a step coming up. Now, what I try to do is stick to my niche and what my page is about, and which is videography and photography. If yours is different, then you're going to have to use these tips, but kind of use them accordingly to what your niche is. Now, it's important to use hashtags, but it is also important to mix them up. What I do on my phone is I have different notes that I've created of 4 groups. If I'm posting a video, I have certain hashtags that I use. If I'm doing a travel vlog and whatnot, or if I'm sharing a video from my YouTube channel, I'm going to try not to repeat them, as it is important, because if you do repeat your hashtags too much and if you post repeatedly with those, Instagram will flag your post as spam. So you always want to be aware of that and keep that in mind, that you don't want your page flagged as spam, because you see it all the time. You see people say account got deleted at 2 million followers and whatnot. So just be mindful of that, because Instagram unfortunately does not mess around with that. And finally, under hashtags, Instagram allows a total of 30 hashtags per post. Now it is important, and I suggest that you use all of them, or as many as the 30 as you possibly can. If you have that tool in front of you, I would suggest using it and getting the most out of it. I mean, if you had $100 to spend freely, you're not just going to spend $10 and throw away the other 90. So if you have 30 hashtags, use them all. Now, quickly to end this subject on hashtags and account interaction, I quickly am going to share this picture that I recently shared. Just a basic photo of a highway and some trees. We had gone out to Elkwater to take some photos. I wanted to fly my drone. So as you can see, just from using my hashtags, and I'll link this post down below and you can check it out and see what I use for hashtags, I reached 107 different accounts, and in total 338 different people have interacted with this post, be it by liking, commenting, or sharing it, or I see somebody for whatever reason saved it to their favorites, which is cool. I appreciate that. And from the homepage, 372, bringing it to a total of 502 impressions just from this one post. So you can see how important and how crucial certain hashtags are. This is just a basic photo, as you can see, of a highway. It's got a cool mist, but it was all in the hashtags, and that's what brings your audience in. Now, I do have a fair amount of followers, but I'm always trying to bring in more. And as you can see, just from my homepage, only 372 people have seen this from scrolling, but I brought in 107 different interactions with this post, brought in new people and whatnot. So hashtags. That being said, we will kind of go back to hashtags in a bit, but for now we're going to move on to tip number 4 and try to speed this along. And tip number 4 is engagement. Now, what I mean by this, and I kind of mentioned this to the person that was asking me about my Instagram following, is that engage. Don't just post a picture and leave it. If somebody comments, comment back. Also, if you're wanting to be in a certain niche like myself, I'm in photography, videography, it is important to engage in different profiles that are kind of in the similar niche. So I go out, I follow, I interact, I comment on different pictures of, you know, lakes and travel vlogs, and if somebody shares a video, it is important. And not only that, in the end, you can meet different creators that give you tips, and, you know, might even give you a shout out if they have a larger following than you. And not only that, if somebody's scrolling on their page and you're commenting on their picture, somebody might see your name and kind of catch their eye, and they'll look at your profile that way. It is important just to kind of cover all areas where you can leave your mark and have people find that mark, and then it leads them back to your profile. If you're wanting to do this, and if you're consistent, you have to like, you have to comment, and you have to follow. You can't just have 20,000 followers and only follow one people. I mean, brands can do that, and well-established photographers or DJs or musicians like Big Sean or Kanye West, they're already, you know, established as an entity or as a product. You are trying to get your name out there, and if you're trying to grow, this is important. Like, comment, follow, interact with your audience. And now moving on to tip number 5. So this one is basically simple, it's pretty straightforward, and that is be consistent. By this I mean, I'm into photography and videography, like I said. Keep your profile consistent with your niche. If you're trying to build a brand, keep it simple with that. Don't be posting about how you went to McDonald's at 5 in the morning. Keep it professional and keep it solely based on your target audience. It is important to be consistent. Keep it, you know, aesthetically clean and have it appealing to the eye. Keep in mind that Instagram is for the eye and the brain. A lot of people are using it when they're at work or on their break or on the bus or, you know, traveling on a trip, on a plane, and they're just looking for stuff to keep their mind occupied. And if you have something that's eye-catching and appealing to somebody, you got to keep it consistent so that they see one post, it might grab their attention, and then they go to your profile, and then you got to have a follow-through of what they're coming to see. You can't have this beautiful picture and then they come to your profile and then it's just some kind of, you know, a sock in the corner or whatnot. But I'm sure you get my point. And lastly, this is going to be my final tip that I have for you on how to grow your Instagram, and that is simply to pay attention. We have access right in our hands of what the audience is looking for, what they're looking at, what time they're coming to see your profile, and it is important to pay attention to that. You can go to your analytics. You can see what are your prime days for posts, audience interaction, and everything right there. So just if you're wanting to grow, you can go say your busiest days are Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. Well, obviously that's your prime days. You're going to be wanting to be very active during those times. I mean, try to grow in other areas and utilize your Instagram at all times. But if your busiest day is Tuesday at 1 p.m., post. You're there Tuesday at 1 p.m., post. If they're not getting interaction, delete, repost. Do whatever you can. Every person is different, and if you're growing on that time, you have a certain audience and they're going to be utilizing that time to look at whatever they're looking at on social media, then grab their attention during that time. You have that information right in your hands, right on your phone. Like I said, if you have a personal profile, unfortunately you can't see that through Instagram, but I will post a link to an app below that I know gives you all that information and gives you access to it. It is important if you're wanting to grow your Instagram, your product, to pay attention to your audience when they're looking, what they're looking at. Also, what posts, like I said, I do photography and videography. If I have a post that's a picture of a tree and a portrait of somebody, I gotta pay attention to what brought people to each individual post. If I post a link for a video, and say on Tuesday I post one, and on Thursday I post one, so I'll post this video and a previous video. If I get 200 views on this video and 53 views on this video, I have to figure out why. That's on me. So it's important to know that everything in this is on you. You have to be self-motivated, self-aware. You have to be aware of what you're posting, and like I said, crucial key point is just simply pay attention to your analytics. That being said, that brings us to the end of the video. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope this helps somebody with their own Instagram account. As always, I'll post all the links down below. While you're scrolling down, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon if you have not already. Give me a thumbs up, and we will see you guys next time. Later.